This election matters to you. When you open your health insurance bill and find your premiums are doubling, remember that McCain strongly opposes Obamacare.
And I must say I was entertained by the statement of my dear friend from Delaware, and we are very dear friends, but to somehow now call upon Republicans to work with you to fix this disaster after, on the floor of the United States Senate, you did not allow a single amendment, not a single amendment, by the Republicans who were allowed. It's the first time an entitlement program has ever been enacted on a strictly partisan basis. You had your 60 votes, you rammed the 60 votes and the Affordable Care Act down our throats. And so now that it's been an abysmal failure, you want us to come and help you bail it out. We want to replace it. We don't want to fix it. We want to replace it because it's been a complete failure. And my state is probably the best example that I know of. We now have 14 of our 15 counties with, guess what, one provider.
Let me switch for a moment to Obamacare, which you mentioned before was obscured by this entire fight. 3 weeks in, we know there have been huge problems with enrollment, rollout, et cetera. And I know you have fought the program, as you were saying earlier, but is the administration being direct enough with the American people about the extent of the problems here?
Of course not. They won't even tell us how many people have signed up.
Well, this morning they said about 475,000 have enrolled, but go ahead.
Well, good. I'm glad they finally came through with some. I'm glad they finally came through with some information. Look, it's been a fiasco. Send Air Force One out to Silicon Valley, load it up with some smart people, bring them back to Washington and fix this problem. It's ridiculous, and everybody knows that.
Well, so do you think that somebody here needs to take the fall, that Kathleen Sebelius, as some have suggested, ought to resign?
Well, let's have congressional hearings. Let's find out who's responsible for this fiasco and then take the appropriate action, in my view. But look, this is just the beginning of the problems associated with a massive restructuring of 1/5 of our economy. And there's going to be a whole lot more problems associated with this before it's done. That's why we Republicans have to keep up the fight, but we have to rifle shot it rather than go at it with a meat axe which cannot succeed.
Obamacare was doomed to fail because it was based on the concept that they would take money from healthy young people and use it to pay for the health care needs of older, less healthy people. Well, frankly, young people didn't like that very much. and no young person should like that very much. We all want to take care of every member of our society, but to transfer wealth just because of age is not the way that it should work.